The story starts on one day in the year 2018. A guy looks at the sky and tells everyone that, hey, you guys, look, that looks bad. After looking at that strange thing, everyone starts running. And while running, everyone shouts that it's the otherworld gate. Why isn't our heroes here yet? Then while reporting, the reporter says, ladies and gentlemen, although the otherworld gate is kind of big this time, don't fret. The White Tiger Troop is going to send their strongest defense team to overcome this problem. Bai Yu, the strongest fire mage, is going to be in this fight. Now, let us interview some of the heroes of the White Tiger Troop. After that, a guy says, I quote, "I'm the second in command for today's mission. We'll do our best in the handling of this gate's opening, so don't worry." After listening to him, she asks him if you are second in command. So where's Commander Bai Yu? Then the guy replies, I apologize, but Commander Bai Yu isn't around yet. After listening to him, she again starts reporting and says, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Since Bai Yu can't be reached, we were unable to bring to you an exclusive interview. So this live report will end for the time being. While walking with the troop, the guy says, Bai Yu. All they know is only Bai Yu. Is he the only person in this entire team? I was supposed to be the commander this time. Why did it suddenly change to that Bai Yu? Despicable. After that, everyone from the troop says one by one, you're not the only one who feels that way. Bai Yu, that fool, is an actual scum. We're all gathered here while he's nowhere to be seen. I bet he's instead just slacking somewhere else. After that, the guy says it's best that he doesn't show up. In fact, I hope he never shows up. Meanwhile, at Bai Yu's residence, a White Tiger Troop member says, hello, I'm from the White Tiger Troop. I'm here to extend an urgent invitation to Mr. Bai Yu. After that, she asks the girl who is standing in front of her, you must be Mr. Bai Yu's wife. Then the girl replies, fiancé to be exact. After that, the girl says, I apologize for the intrusion, and asks her, but did Mr. Bai Yu receive our urgent mission request? Then Bai Yu's fiancé turns around and asks her, which one are you referring to? And tells her, we did, but I haven't given them to him. After listening to her, she replies, I know that Mr. Bai Yu is very busy, but this issue is a bit on the urgent side. Then Bai Yu's fiancé smiles and says, busy? Indeed, he's busy sleeping right now. After listening to her, she gets shocked and says, sleeping now? Then Bai Yu's fiancé asks her, is this your first time meeting him? What's with that exaggerated reaction? After that, she replies, he's the commander. Everyone is waiting for him right now. Many citizens have been sucked into the otherworld gate. Lives are at stake here. YSHOULDNT be held responsible. Suddenly, Bai Yu opens his room's gate and says, silence. You woke me up. After that, he asks his fiancé, why don't you clean up my room, then fetch my clothes? Then she replies, what? I'm your fiance, not your nanny. After that, he says, I guess it's fine that you don't want to do it since the vacancy mansion doesn't need to be gifted to you anymore. What a pity. Then she asks him, are you joking? After that, suddenly she says, I was just kidding, sure. I'll go tidy your room and fetch your clothes right away. Please wait for me, vacancy mansion. I quote, I'm coming. After that, the girl and Bai Yu sit together and the girl says, Mr. Bai Yu, this is the details of today's missions. Time is running out, so you won't have time to read these anymore. I'll explain them to you on the way. After listening to her, he tells her that you're so nagging. I don't need any details. You ribbit like a frog. Then the girl says, since you don't need any mission details, then let's get going. After that, he asks her, what's the hurry? And tells her that we can wait, little froggy. Let me see your phone. Then the girl says, stop fooling around, Mr. Bai Yu. Everyone is waiting for you to save the world. So why do you need my mobile? After listening to her, he replies, I just need to clarify as to how much I'm needed at this point. And asks her, do you know why I was requested? Then she replies, obviously, it's because you're the strongest. After that, he says, I'm the strongest human that has ever existed. Obviously, it's because you're the strongest. To be honest, I'm the most powerful, not because of strength, but because I, Bai Yu, am drop dead gorgeous, on top of being almost everyone's most admired idol. After listening to him, she says, but they're all cursing you. Then he says, what do you know anyway? They're just jealous, since I quote, I'm all perfect. I'm a god in their eyes. Then he throws her phone at her and tells her that now we can depart. Let the action begin. After catching her phone, she thinks everyone is right. He is actual scum. Meanwhile, later from the helicopter, Bai Yu says, hero Bai Yu is here. After saying that, he jumps from the helicopter. After seeing that Bai Yu has arrived, the guy from the troop tells his members to catch up to General Bai Yu. And he thinks that, darn it, he got the limelight again. Then he tells the troop to attack. And after seeing the situation there, Bai Yu tells his troop members that let's get this done quickly. I don't want to waste too much of my precious time here. After that, the troop members starts fighting with monsters. While fighting, the lieutenant says there are too many monsters, and tells the troop members that everyone must gather together, use teamwork, and gather strength to break through. After listening to him, the member of the troop tells his allies that follow the lieutenant's order. Gather strength for breakthrough. After that, Bai Yu tells them that they're just trivial enemies and asks them why the hassle, and tells them that every one of you look closely. After that, he attacks the monster with his fire move, and while attacking he says, "Let me give you an example." After seeing Bai Yu's attack, troop members get shocked and says he only used one move and eliminated all those monsters. Suddenly the troop members see something strange. Then the lieutenant tells them, "Everyone be careful. It's the boss of this portal, Kyong Kai." After looking at that monster, one of the troop members says such a huge Kyong Kai is basically a living target, and asks the lieutenant, "Isn't this too easy?" Then the lieutenant replies, "Never underestimate the enemy," and tells them that the boss is attacking. Prepare to defend. After that, the monsters start attacking them. Then one of the members says that mages quickly summon the defense circle. After that, suddenly Bai Yu says, "Little beast, do you think I'm easy meat?" Then looking at Bai Yu's confidence against the monster, one of the troop members says, "Yes, we're saved." And the lieutenant tells them that all of you get back from the boss. Prepare for a long-range attack. Then while looking at the monster, Bai Yu says, I quote, "I'm done playing. Let me send you to hell with this move." After that, he attacks the monster and thinks is that a success. Then the monster again stands up. After looking at this, everyone in the troop gets shocked, and a guy from the troop says, "How is that possible? Are our attacks not working on it at all?" After that, Bai Yu again goes to attack the monster, and while running towards the monster, he thinks even my attacks are useless on it. It seems there's a need to let you have a taste of suffering. Suddenly something strange happens and Bai Yu stops. He sees a big shadowed figure in front of him. After looking at that, he thinks this guy isn't from here. Then he tells the lieutenant that let the team retreat immediately. After listening to him, the lieutenant asks him, "How can we retreat if we have not succeeded?" Then Bai Yu shouts at him that, "Can't you understand me? I said, retreat." After listening to him, the members ask the lieutenant, "Should we really retreat?" Even Bayou said so. Then Bai Yu tells them, "Run if you don't want to die here. This fire barrier can't hold it back any longer." After listening to him, one of the members tells his allies, "Get up quick. The general has given orders to retreat." Then the lieutenant asks them, "Are you all going to just listen to his orders and retreat? All of you better get your ass back here." And ask Bayou, "How are you going to complete the mission now that everyone is gone?" After asking him that he thinks if I could conquer this portal, I could have upgraded to level 8. Damn it. Then again he asks Bayou, "Aren't you the strongest? Don't you have any other methods?" After that, Bayou replies, "As you can see, it's highly impossible to completely retreat now." After listening to him, the lieutenant asks him, "Are you for real?" Then Bayou replies, "I can only take on a gamble now," and tells him that I will attract its attention, and you'll destroy the Dark Abyss. It should be beside the Kyong Kai's corpse. After destroying the Dark Abyss, the portal should appear. Then the lieutenant runs towards the Dark Abyss, and while running he thinks, "Great. It didn't notice me. This battle plan is achievable." After that, he looks at the Dark Abyss and thinks, "So this is the Dark Abyss. This battle plan is achievable. I just need to break it, and I could exit. Then I'll be the level A hero." It worked. The exit portal appeared. Bayou is still battling that thing. After that, he sees Bayou is injured by fighting that monster. Then the lieutenant thinks to help him. But suddenly he stops and thinks, no, it'll attract the monster's attention. Now that the portal is opened, I'm safe. Also, no one knows what happened here. If only Bayou dies here. After thinking all that, the lieutenant runs from there. Then after looking at the lieutenant that he leaves him to die, Bayou thinks that bastard, because the Dark Abyss is destroyed. The whole dimension is collapsing rapidly. This dimension would soon vanish. So I guess I'll vanish too, huh? I can't accept this. No one would imagine that I, Bayou, would have died so aggrievedly. But the people should feel grateful, right? After all, I had sacrificed my life for this. Sure enough, I'm the coolest of all times. After thinking all that, he suddenly opens his eyes and sees himself somewhere else and thinks, wait a minute, what's this? Just now I didn't die. I quote, I'm still alive. But it's still weird. I clearly remember being pierced by that black shadow. I have a tough soul? What? It's already healed. How is this possible? What happened after that? How could I survive that? Could it be I have awakened an ultra-speed regeneration ability? Yes, that must be it. It's definitely that, yup, yes. The strongest blaze mage paired with an ultra-speed regeneration ability. As expected, I, Bayou, am the chosen one. Suddenly someone tells him that don't be foolish. After listening to that, he asks, who's that? How dare you call me a fool? Then he sees that there's no one, and think what's going on. Suddenly someone again says, don't you understand? After listening to it, he asks who's there, and says to better come out right now. Suddenly he falls inside the red tornado. Then he thinks this, feeling that's right. I felt it when the black shadow appeared. Better wait. Why is it so dark here? Then he says, you better show yourself. That bastard who stabbed me. Stop hiding. I know you're here. Then again the strange voice replies as expected, such a stupid little brat. You're clueless about whether you're dead or alive yet think it's ultra speed regeneration. What a joke. After that a girl comes out and after looking at her he asks her, who are you? Then the girl replies, who am I? I guess you can consider me as your savior. I spent 2 whole years rebuilding your soul again. After listening to her he asks her, 2 years? Rebuild my soul? What do you mean? Then she replies, still, you don't admit that you're a fool. Baiyu's body died 2 years ago. I rebuilt your soul and gave you a new life, allowing you to relive this world with a new appearance. This rebirth skill is much advanced than ultra speed regeneration. Stupid little brat. After listening to her he asks her, why would you resurrect me? It shouldn't be simply because of my stunning looks, right? Then she says, oh my god, are all humans that narcissistic? And replies, no. But you're right, we need the help of human power. After that he says, as I expected. However, it's not a big deal. After all, I'm the strongest. And ask her, so who else could you choose except for me? After listening to him she thinks, oh my god, he's terrible. Is this what's called blindly confident? Then she tells him that things are not as easy as you think. Then he replies, with me here, there's nothing that can't be dealt with. After that she tells him that please keep in mind what I'm going to say next. The interdimensional portal is an interconnection tunnel with the other dimensions and the real world. Once the portal is fully opened, all the spiritual monsters from the other dimensions will pour out. Only by destroying the dark abyss crystal protected by these spiritual monsters and cutting off the energy source of the tunnel could the portal be closed. After listening to her he says, I know what you're saying. It's the basic responsibility of the portal protectors. Kill the monsters, destroy the black abyss, obtain the equipment, and the job's done. Then she asks him, do you know why one could get such strong powers from destroying the dark abyss? And tells him that inside the dark abyss traps the mighty power that the spiritual monsters had fought with for thousands of years. The power of God. And we are the race of gods. After listening to her he gets shocked and asks her, if you guys are gods, why would you need me? A mere human's help. Then she replies, our powers have been sealed, so we can't defeat those spiritual monsters. So we need humans to act as our spirit medium. Normal humans will only obtain a small amount of God's power from the dark abyss. Still, it's enough to make them superior to other humans. As for spirit mediums, they are qualified to use God's weapon, which is the power of gods. After that he says, what lousy qualification is that? I don't care about that. I thought there were bigger things you're asking me for help with. It turns out it's just to give me some power to carry out tasks on behalf of you guys. Don't involve me in your problems. I hate being demanded to do things by others. After listening to him she thinks, if I'm allowed, I would really like to kill this brat. Then she says, forget it then. You don't seem fit for this task anyway. It's better to find someone else that's more suitable. After all, this is the power everyone else desires. It represents supreme glory. After listening, he tells her that stand right there. Speak. What do you want me to do? Then she replies, you better think it through. After that he tells her to stop with the nonsense and tells her to sign a contract. Then she says, upon rebirth, you are not Bai Yu anymore. After listening to her he asks her, no longer Bai Yu. What do you mean? She replies, in order to adapt to the power of God's weapon, your body, attributes, and even abilities are totally different from your past. After listening to her he thinks, that's right, I could feel that my current body is not mine. Then she says, if you're ready, you can pick it up. This is the start of your journey as High Tan. Meanwhile later we see a car in which a girl and a boy are sitting. Suddenly the girl tells the guy that stop. There's someone in front. The guy who was standing in between the road was Bai Yu. While standing in between the road he is thinking, this is the god weapon. Was I fooled? Suddenly the car hits him so hard that he falls so much away from the car. After looking at this, the girl in the car tells the guy who was driving the car that that person just bounced into the air. Then he tells her to shut up and says, what freaking bad luck. I just got this car. After that he comes out of his car and says, you bastard. I won't let you go. After that Bai Yu tries to get up on his feet again. Then while looking at him the guy says, hey, you're one lucky bastard. You're still alive after that crash. Fortunately, you're not dead otherwise. Who am I going to settle this matter with? After listening to him Bai Yu says, settle the matter. You want to pay me? That's unnecessary. I'm fine, you can leave. Don't worry, I won't deceive you. While he is leaving that guy suddenly stops him and says, bastard, stand where you are, and asks Bai Yu that you're fine. What does that have to do with me? Is your petty life even worthy of being compared with my beloved car? After that Bai Yu tells him that take your dirty hand away from my body. Then the guy says, not only is your life petty, you have a stinky mouth too. Let me teach you how to speak with adults then. After saying that he suddenly punches Bai Yu on his stomach. Then Bai Yu asks him, you bastard, how dare you sneak on me? And says, I won't forgive you. Then the guy replies, forgive me. The one who is kneeling on the ground is you. Be aware of the situation, you little rascal. After looking at his move, Bai Yu says, earth flame skill. So you're a blaze mage. Then the guy asks him, are you terrified now? and says unlucky for you, it's too late. After listening to him, Bai Yu laughs and says terrified, don't play with me. This kind of skill can't harm me even an inch. After that the guy asks him what did you say? Then Bai Yu replies I said save the hassle. Otherwise, you might embarrass yourself. After listening to him the guy says you've really pissed me off this time. Then he attacks Bai Yu and says prepare to die. After that Bai dodges his move. Then the guy thinks what he dodged it. After he again attacks Bai Yu and says let's see how you can dodge it this time. Then Bai Yu tries to dodge him but suddenly gets burnt by his attack. After looking at him that Bai is still standing on his feet, the guy says I can't believe a lowlife like you can be so tough. You don't care about sacrificing one hand. You really did surprise me. After listening to him Bai Yu thinks darn it, I never would even dream about being burnt one day. Then the guy sees the weapon on Bai Yu's hand and says a dagger. I was still imagining you might hide some vicious character. It turns out you're just a small assassin. You're going to lose. Our differences are like this flame barrier. You're unable to touch it and scared to go beyond. If you attack, it'll only ignite your body. And it's suffering. Unable to get close. Little rascal. After listening to him Bai Yu says from the moment you showed your flame technique, you've already lost. Suddenly Bai Yu breaks his flame barrier. After looking at this, that guy thinks impossible. How could he easily destroy my flame barrier skill? Then he asks Bai Yu how did you get in? Then Bai Yu replies who taught you the blaze technique? Didn't she tell you that the flame barrier skill is not unbreakable? After listening to him the guy asks Bai Yu who are you? How could an assassin like you know all this? Then Bai Yu replies I've never said that I'm an assassin. After that the guy asks him hey, what are you doing? Do you know who I am? Then Bai Yu replies why should I care? After that the guy says I am the eldest son of the Mo Kirin organization's president, Golden Lee. You dare to hit me? Then Bai Yu asks him what kind of stupid organization is that? I never heard it. After that the guy starts crying and says I don't want to die. Someone save me. Suddenly a guy comes there and stops Bai Yu and takes the weapon from him and says he has lost all his will to fight. Then Golden Lee asks him who are you? The guy replies full of crap. After that Bai Yu asks him darn bastard, why are you so nosy? Then the guy thinks nosy. He's the one obviously making a fool of himself. I can't feel any magic on him. But why is he so confident? Could it be that he is deliberately hiding his true powers? There are people who look ordinary but are actually unfathomable. He must be such a person. Tiger eater. I must be too weak, I didn't even sense it. After thinking all that he sees that Bai Yu is just passed out. Then asks him young warrior, are you okay? After that Bai Yu opens his eyes and sees many kids in front of him. After looking at them he thinks where am I? After that he looks around and says it's someone's home. Then a girl comes there and asks him you're finally awake and says I thought you were never going to wake up. After listening to her Bai Yu asks her who are you? Dressed up like a big fat rat. Then after listening to it all the kids gets angry goes to beat Bai Yu. While getting beaten by the kids Bai Yu says what are you guys doing? Stop it right now, you bunch of little brats. Then all the kids shouts at him and says how dare you speak badly about Sister Meiki. If it weren't for Sister Meiki to cure you, you would be long dead. You must call her Lady Goddess. After listening to all that Bai Yu asks the girl did you ask them to call you Lady Goddess? And tells her that you really are a psychopath. I might sue you for inducing minors. After that the girl tells the kid that okay, enough. All of you, please leave. I have something to say to him. Then Bai Yu asks her what do you want to speak to me about? And says if you want to confess your love to me, I won't accept it, you're too ugly. After that the girl asks him you're a portal protector, right? Looking at your expression, that's a yes. After listening to her he asks her what do you want? Then she replies with excitement that please form a team with us. After that Bai Yu asks her form a team. Then she replies wait a minute and shows him a pamphlet and says this. It's organized by the Mo Kirin organization together with the Romania Association. The first Shu and Huang competition. After looking at the pamphlet Bai Yu gets fully shocked. Then she asks him are you okay? Why do you look sick? Are you feeling uncomfortable? While looking at the pamphlet Bai Yu thinks how could it be this wicked bastard? Then he suddenly shouts with anger that this is impossible and asks her is this a joke? How could the organization choose him as the president? Then she replies it's true and thinks Xiao Wu said he's a great portal protector. How could he not even know about this? Then she tells him that around 2 years ago that guy, Li Zhen, he became the president of the White Tiger Union. After listening to her gets angry and says that damn bastard. It must be because he used some nasty tricks. Otherwise, with that ability of his how could he get to become president? After listening to him the girl says not only that in that coming year, he quickly took control of the other 3 unions, which are the green, red and black, to form the Mo Kirin organization, and became the strongest union in State Jal. After listening to her he thinks Mo Kirin. Where have I heard that name? Forget it, that's unimportant. If it weren't for that bastard, I wouldn't have desolated to such a low point. Wait until I'll settle both our old and new debts with you. After thinking all that, he asks her if I entered this stupid competition, could I meet that bastard, Li Zhen? After listening to him, she asks him, I didn't mishear you, right? You agreed, and tells him that let me bring you to meet the others. Then he says I only agreed to go with you guys. As for my personal matters, leave it alone. After saying that he thinks I don't care about the competition. All I want is to kill that bastard as soon as possible. Suddenly she grabs him and says, come on, since you've agreed to join us, we're friends now. Then he says, friends, you better let go now. After that she takes him with her and says, let's go. I'll introduce the others for you. Then she opens a door and tells him to come in. Suddenly Bai Yu sees a creature coming to attack him, but he dodges him and asks her what was that. Suddenly from inside the room a girl says, this is the guy you guys have found for our emergency. Then the girl tells the creature to come back, and tells Bai Yu that you're a bit too weak. After that she tells Xiao Lin that, don't use your summoning spell here. Then Xiao Lin says, fine. I was just curious about this new guy's ability. Can't believe, that's just it. After listening to her, Bai Yu gets shocked and says, what are you talking about? You brat with a body like a man. Then Xiao Lin also gets angry and says, who are you talking about? You tan ghost. After listening to her, Bai Yu replies, yeah, I'm talking about you, and asks her, what are you going to do? While watching them arguing like this, she tries to stop them and tells both of them that okay, that's enough. Both of you, calm down, each of you should say less. Please guys, stop fighting. Suddenly she sees someone and says, brother, at least help me persuade them. Suddenly someone comes up from behind the computer desk. After seeing him, Lin says, boss, is that you? Then the guy says, it's fine, isn't this quite nice, energetic and vigorous? Our team requires this kind of. After listening to him, Lin says, boss is complimenting me again. And the girl wearing the costume thinks, what nonsense is my brother speaking about? These two almost tore down the house. After that the guy introduces himself that I quote him Fan Jai. Then he moves his hand forward and says, welcome aboard to our team. After looking at that he gets shocked and says with shame, it's fine. We'll get close in no time, this is my sister. After listening to it, Lin gets shocked and thinks, why didn't he introduce me first? Then the girl wearing the costume says, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I quote him Fan Makey. After that Fan Jai says, and she's Lin Shenyin. She might be feisty, but she used to be the core member of a popular girl group, and asks him, isn't she amazing? Then Bai Yu replies, turns out to be an outdated old internet celebrity. After listening to it, Lin gets shocked and asks him, what did you say? Who are you calling old? Then they both suddenly start fighting again. On the other hand, Fan Makey asks his brother, why haven't I seen Xiao Wu? After listening to her, Bai Yu asks, what? There's someone else. Then Fan Jai says, you're talking about Xiao Wu. He's working part-time at the orphanage. He's just like you, a substitute we've taken in. After listening to him, Bai Yu thinks a substitute. As expected, this is a rookie team. I'm on my own. Then he says, listen up. I am called Bai Yu, Hai Tan. I did promise to join you guys, but that doesn't mean I'll listen to your commands. I have my own stuff to deal with, so none of you even hinder me. After listening to him, Lin asks him, what's up with your attitude? Then Fan Jai says, it's fine. It's good that the kid is confident. Meanwhile, later at State Zhang Portal Protectors Rating Center, Fan Jai says, since all of you are here, let's get going. Xiao Wu's been waiting for us. After listening to him, Hai Tan thinks, I never thought that I would return here again after so many years. At 16 years old, I got level B. Since then, I have been at the peak of life at a young age and have always been the top one. Now, the king has returned. The myths have occurred, I must continue. After that he sees on the display and tells his group members that, oh, it's my turn. And Lin says there's no need to encourage a loser like him. After listening to her, Hai Tan thinks a bunch of shallow hillbillies. I have been rebirthed. I'll shock them to the core when they see my result. After thinking that, he runs towards the test room and laughs and says, wait to kneel and succumb to me. After looking at this, Lin thinks this guy must be a dummy. Then she says, I can't believe they need to rate the players this time before the competition registration. After listening to her, Fan Makey says it's a new competition after all. They need to combine the players' level of ability and then classify the team. It'll only be fair for the same level team to compete with each other, right? Fair. That's a good point. Then Fan Jai comes there and asks both of them, have you guys finished testing? I just met Hai Tan. After listening to him, Fan Makey asks him, how's your result, brother? He replies, better than last time. I've upgraded to level C. Not bad. I didn't expect myself to actually upgrade at such an age. It's quite surprising. After listening to him, Fan Makey says it's Xiao Wu. He just finished the test. While looking at his result, Hai Tan thinks, what the heck is this? Assassin, level H. Don't tell me that not only is my body rebuilt, but my abilities have been thrown back to the stove as well. This must not be real. After that, suddenly someone picks up his result, which he threw away, and says, hey, look at who this is. Oh my god, level H. This is a rare level to be seen. Hey, old friend, you're here to sign up too. You threatened me back then, huh? I really thought you had never heard of Mo Kirin. After listening to him, Haitan thanks Kirin. I remembered, and says you are the son of that bastard Li Zhen. After that, suddenly someone punches him so hard that he falls to the ground. After that, Mo Kirin asks that guy, did I ask you to help? You stupid dog. Then the guy replies, sorry, I should be punished, young master. After that, Haitan stands up and asks, why are you here? Then Mo Kirin replies, my family organized this competition, so it's not unusual that I'm here, right? After listening to him, Haitan says, shut up. ID and ask you, why are you here, Jing Chongming? After listening to him, Mo Kirin asks Jing that you guys know each other. Then Jim replies, young master, I've never seen this man. After that, Mo Kirin says, I'll leave him to you then. Eliminate him. After that, people also gather there and the guard comes there to handle the crowd. Meanwhile, a guy standing at the back tells the guard, look after the situation. Don't add trouble for the young master. Not sure how that kid angered the young master, but he's dead meat. What should I eat later? Meanwhile, Mo Kirin tells Hertan that you embarrassed me that day, and asks him, so, how do you feel now, being stepped under my feet? Then Haitan replies, you bastard who only knows to abuse your power. After listening to him, Mo Kirin says, abuse my power. I like that phrase. Since I have that kind of power, I want everyone to be afraid of me and become my obedient dog. After that, Haitan says, Jing Chongming, you are the face of the White Tiger Union. Are you really willing to be a lackey of this trash? Then Jing replies, I don't think that it's embarrassing being a dog. Plus, I was only a dog for another person at the White Tiger Union. Young master, I have a request. Please give him to me. I want to finish him myself. After listening to him, Haitan thinks that I'm in trouble now. I can't even move. So what even if I could move? Jing Chongming is known as human artillery. With my current status, I can't even stop him. After that, Mo Kirin says, I'm bored now, I'll leave him to you, and tells Jing that just make sure to clean up and don't leave me any trouble. Then Jing replies, don't worry, young master, I will smash this guy into dust. I won't give you any trouble. Then suddenly his group members come there to protect him. After looking at them, Haitan says, leave me. You guys can't defeat them. Then Fan Jai says, I'm not sure how he offended you guys, but I'm his leader, so speak with me instead. After that, Jing says, I won't stop you if you wish to die. But after that, kid dies, while looking at Jing that he is coming towards him to attack. Haitan thinks, darn it, I quote, am dead now. Why can't I do anything right now? If I still have my ability, if I'm still Bai Yu, I can definitely stop all this. Suddenly he hears something that someone is asking him, do you wish to obtain power? Then he sees the same girl that he met before his reincarnation. She asks him, don't you look rough? And says, you don't look a bit like a spirit medium at all. Didn't you hear it? After seeing the weapon, he thinks, oh, right, I have the god's weapon. And says, quick, give me a cheat that can help me change the situation. Meanwhile, looking at Jing, Haitan team members get into fear that something wrong is going to happen with him. While going to attack Haitan, suddenly Jing stops and sees something strange in the smoke. Will the god weapon make Haitan more powerful than his old version of Bai Yu? What will happen next? To find out, do like, share, subscribe, and comment if you want the next part as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Sayonara.